Something fragile openeth. Next morning came with no apology. Anna didn't open the door right away. Not even after she had slept for 4 hours. Not even after she heard the assistant knocking gently at 6 a.m., reminding her of the early shoot. She had heard the crew walk by, laughing about something they didn't understand. She heard the grip guy toss a heavy metal rod into the truck bed. She heard makeup whisper about how Anna probably just needed space. But no one asked why she had cried. No one except him. He hadn't left. Keanu had waited until well after nightfall, then returned again before the sun could rise. Not with demands, not with expectations, just with presence. This time, when she opened the door just a crack, she didn't look at him. He didn't look surprised. He was sitting on a wooden crate just beside the trailer steps, sipping tea that had already gone cold. His voice was calm, as if the world hadn't stopped yesterday. "Morning," he said. Anna didn't answer right away. "Then you didn't sleep?" Keanu shrugged, gave a small smile. A little. The wind helped. She stepped out slowly, still wrapped in a sweater too big for her. Her hair was tied up, but the strands fell anyway. She sat on the step next to him. Not touching, not talking, just there. The lot was still quiet. Birds were making noise again. Too cheerful, Keanu reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a folded paper bag. "I brought something," he said. "It's not much. It's just a croissant." Anna blinked. Looked at it. Looked at him, then took it gently with both hands. "Thank you," she whispered. They didn't talk for a while after that. She took a bite. It was dry, but warm. Maybe it wasn't about the croissant. Maybe it was about someone remembering she was human. "Do you want to talk about it?" Keanu asked, softly. Anna shook her head. "No, not yet." He nodded. "Okay. No pressure. No questions. No heavy silence waiting to be filled." Anna closed her eyes. Let the wind push her hair across her cheek. And then she did something unexpected. She spoke. "It's not just yesterday," she said. Keanu turned to her, listening fully, without interrupting. "It's been months," she continued. "I keep thinking I've got it under control, but then someone says something. Or I read something online, or I mess up one take, and suddenly it all crashes down." She didn't cry this time. She was tired of crying, I feel like. Like no matter how hard I try, I'm always proving something. Proving I deserve to be here. That I'm not just lucky, or pretty, or replaceable. Keanu nodded slowly. "You're not replaceable." Anna gave him a weak smile. "You have to say that." "No," he replied. "I don't." Keanu leaned forward, resting his elbows on his knees. "Can I tell you something?" he asked. Anna nodded. "When I first started acting, there were days I felt invisible. It's like no one really saw me. Not the real me. Just the idea of me. The roles. The image." He looked out toward the empty set. "I remember one director once said to me, 'You're not deep enough for this character. You're too blank.'" Anna raised an eyebrow. "You?" she asked, blank. He chuckled. "Yeah," he meant it as an insult. But it made me think. Maybe he didn't understand stillness. Maybe he mistook quiet for emptiness. Anna tilted her head, considering that. "People do that," she said. "They fill in the blanks with their own fears." He looked at her gently. "Maybe that's what happened yesterday." Anna blinked. "What do you mean?" Someone said something cruel, and it landed because there's a part of you that believed it, even just a little. She didn't answer, because he was right. Later that day they were called to set. Anna arrived 5 minutes early. She wore the same sweater, but something had changed in her eyes. Not fixed, not fully healed, but steadier. The director nodded at her. She nodded back. When the scene began, Anna hit every beat. Her lines, her timing, her emotion, everything was sharp but real. The whole crew noticed. When the take ended, the director said that was perfect. "Let's move on." Anna looked down. She didn't smile. Not yet. But her fingers weren't trembling anymore. At lunch, she sat beside Keanu under the shade of a light rig. They didn't say much. Didn't need to. Then, halfway through her salad, Anna put down her fork and said quietly, "Do you ever wonder if they'll ever really see you? Like, All of you? Keanu looked at her. Sometimes, he replied, but then, I remember not everyone needs to. Anna frowned. What do you mean? He took a sip of his tea. Sometimes one person is enough. One person who stays when everyone else leaves. One person who waits by the door. Anna went still, because that's what he had done. After lunch, as they walked back to the set, Anna stopped suddenly. Keanu turned. She reached out and gently touched his sleeve. Not a grab, just a light, grateful touch. Thank you, she said. He didn't say you're welcome. He just gave her the smallest nod and walked beside her that evening. As the sun dipped below the hills, Anna returned to her trailer. She stood by the door for a long time, looking at the handle, remembering how yesterday she had locked it and tried to disappear now. She stepped inside, but left the door open behind her, just a few inches, just enough. A kindness no one saw that night, Anna sat on the edge of her trailer bed with a notebook open on her lap. The pages were mostly blank. A few lines scribbled in the corner, half thoughts, words she wasn't ready to say aloud. She stared at them, the pen resting against her thumb. Then, slowly, she began to write. Not a scene, not a script, just a memory. He didn't knock. He didn't push. He just waited. That was enough. The next morning on set was fast and loud. Cameras were late. Light rigs weren't working. Director was pacing and cursing under his breath. Someone spilled coffee. Someone yelled about. A missing prop. And I walked through it all like she was moving through a fog, but her feet were steady. And Keanu, he was already there, standing off to the side, sipping from a black mug, unreadable. Calmed, his eyes found hers, just for a second. Not. A smile, not a wave, just a quiet acknowledgement, and that was enough. Their scene that day was hard, a shouting match between their characters, raw emotion, broken promises, pain that couldn't be cleaned up with one soft line. Anna was nervous, not because of the lines, but because of how real it felt. The director shouted, "Action," and it began. Anna's voice cracked on the second line. Her eyes burned. Not because of acting, but because she meant it. She didn't know where it was coming from. Maybe from weeks of pressure. Maybe from yesterday. Maybe from years ago when she had first felt not enough. Keanu didn't flinch. He met her pain with stillness. Didn't act over her. Didn't outshine her. He just gave her space to break. And in that space, she found power. When the director shouted, "Cut," there was a moment of silence on set, then slow clapping from one of the camera crew. Then more. Anna blinked in surprise. The director walked up and said, "I don't know where that came from, ... but that was real." Anna swallowed hard. She turned to Keanu. He didn't say anything, but the look in his. "I said it all. You did it later, someone." From the studio called her team. Said the footage from that scene gave them chills. Said it would probably be the clip they used in the trailer. Anna didn't know how to feel about that because no one knew what it had cost her. No one but Keanu. At dinner that evening, she found him sitting behind the set trailer, away from the noise. She didn't ask. She just sat down beside him and placed her notebook between them. "What's this?" he asked. "Something I wrote?" He didn't open it. "Not yet. Can I?" He nodded. He flipped the cover and saw a page that read, "I didn't need anyone to fix me. I just needed someone to sit beside the broken pieces." He closed the notebook gently. "That's beautiful," he said. "It's true," she replied. They sat there in the soft wind, the world quieting around them. Anna leaned her head back and looked up at the stars. "You know," she said, "people think kindness is this big thing, some heroic moment, a speech, a gesture. But it's not." Keanu turned to her. "What is it then?" She smiled softly. "It's someone not leaving." He nodded slowly, then whispered, "Yeah, it is." Night Anna did something she hadn't done in a long time. She called her mother. They didn't talk about the movie. They didn't talk about Hollywood. They just talked. About what made her laugh as a kid. About the first time she wore red lipstick and hated it. About the way she used to hum in her sleep. Her mother cried. So did she. And somewhere in that hour, Anna felt something return. Not completely, but enough. On set the next morning, something had changed. The crew noticed Anna walked with purpose. She smiled, but not the fake smile. The real one. Even when the director snapped about time, she handled it with grace. Someone muttered a joke under their breath about actresses being too emotional. Anna heard it, but this time she didn't shrink. She stood straighter. She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She just said, loud enough for the joke to die in the air, "We're all emotional. It's what makes us real." Keanu heard it. He didn't clap. He didn't make it a moment. But as she passed by him, he gave her that same small nod again. This time, she nodded back. After the final shot of the day, they were both called into the producer's trailer. Anna looked at Keanu. "What do you think it's about?" He raised an eyebrow. "Probably our dramatic pause budget," she laughed. And it wasn't forced. The producer greeted them with a grin. "Listen," he said. "You two are magic. There's talk about pudding. You're seen in an award preview reel. We're moving the emotional sequence from episode 5 to 3 because of the momentum." Anna blinked. Keanu spoke first. "Thanks. We'll be ready." Outside, as the door closed behind them, Anna turned to him and said softly, "I wasn't ready before." Keanu gave her a half smile. "You are now." That night, Anna opened her notebook. Again, this time, she wrote a new line. "The world claps when you shine, but the right people wait when you don't." She closed it with a breath that didn't hurt anymore. When the world looked away, studio lights were too harsh that morning. Anna blinked under their glare as a photographer adjusted her pose. Chin down, eyes softer, not too emotional. Click, she did as they said, but something inside her pushed back. This wasn't acting. This was a machine. And some days, it felt like it was trying to take pieces of her. The red carpet was a week away. The press had already started circling. Anna's big return. One headline teased, as if she had ever left. As if yesterday didn't happen. As if the tears behind that trailer door weren't still fresh in some invisible way. Keanu wasn't at the photo shoot. He had flown out for a 24-hour trip to attend a charity event he never missed. She knew he'd be back. But his absence felt louder than she expected. She missed his silence, missed the stillness he brought into rooms without trying, missed the way he looked at her and saw more than the role, the pose. The image that afternoon, someone forwarded Anna a comment thread at first. She ignored it, but curiosity had claws. She opened it. The post was about the emotional scene she had filmed with Keanu. It had gone viral, but not for the right reasons. People were debating whether she had overacted. Some said she wasn't strong enough for serious roles. Others just used words she had tried for years to outrun. Just a pretty face or word. Her hands trembled. The room felt small. She dropped her phone on the makeup table and stared at her reflection. For a moment, all the progress she had made felt like glass, thin, fragile, already cracking. Keanu returned that evening. She didn't go to greet him, but he found. He always did. She was sitting on the back steps of the studio, wrapped in a coat too big for her. He didn't say anything. He just sat beside her. "After a while," she said. "They're saying it again." Keanu glanced over, but didn't ask who they were. He knew. "I saw some of it," he said. Anna swallowed. "I don't know why it still gets to me." "Because you care," he replied. Anna shook her head. "I don't want to care. I want to be unshakable." Keanu looked at the sky. "No one strong starts unshakable." She went quiet. He continued. "The strongest people I know, they've all been shaken, cracked, sometimes even broken. The strength came later, when they chose not to stay shattered." Anna wiped her cheek. "I'm tired of having to be brave." "Then don't be," he said. "Not right now. It's not with me." They sat in silence for a long time. Finally, Anna reached into her bag and pulled out her notebook. She handed it to him. "There's something new in there," she said. He opened to the most recent page. "They only see you when you shine. You taught me it's okay to sit in the dark sometimes." Closed the notebook gently and handed it back. "Thank you for sharing that," he said. "I didn't write it for them," she whispered. "I wrote it for you." The next morning, things changed. Not publicly, not loudly, just internally. Anna walked into the studio and didn't flinch when someone mispronounced her name. She didn't fold when someone rolled their eyes at her choice to wear flats instead of heels. She smiled when someone mentioned the online comments and didn't defend herself. Instead, she said, "Let the work speak," then walked away. On set, the director pulled her aside. "The producer wants to change the scene again," he said. "They think you should cry less in this next one. More ... control." Anna tilted her head. "But the scene is about breaking," she said. He shrugged. "Studio notes. They think it's too vulnerable." Anna looked over at Keanu. He raised one eyebrow. Her heart steadied. "Let's do one take their way," she said. "Then one take my way." The director agreed. On the first take, she held back, measured, restrained, distant. On the second, she let it crack open raw, trembling human when it ended. There was silence on set. Even the director didn't speak right away. He turned to the crew. "Keep the second take." Anna exhaled. During lunch, Keanu walked over and handed her something small, wrapped in tissue paper. "What's this?" she asked. "Open it." Inside was a tiny glass charm shaped like a cracked heart, but inside the crack, there was a sliver of gold paint. She looked at him. "Kintsugi," he said. "It's a Japanese art. They repair broken pottery with gold, not to hide the cracks, but to highlight them." Anna held the charm tightly. "Thank you," she whispered. "Don't forget," he said. "You're not broken. You're art." That night, she wrote one more line in her notebook. "He gave me gold for my cracks. Not to fix me, but to remind me that even broken things can be beautiful." The world started watching. Premiere was 3 days away. Billboards were already up. Trailers playing on every streaming platform. Interviews booked. Dresses chosen. Hairstylists on standby. Anna sat in the corner of her hotel room, legs folded. Under her, staring at a suitcase she hadn't finished packing, her phone buzzed again. It was her publicist. "Don't forget to smile. This is a huge moment." Anna locked the screen. Outside her window, the city sparkled. But it didn't feel like it was sparkling for her, just for the image of her, for the version they loved, perfect, poised, unburnt. Not for the girl who had cried behind a trailer. Not for the girl who still had bad dreams about being laughed off set. Keanu knocked once before stepping inside. He didn't say anything about the half-packed suitcase. He just glanced at it, then looked at her. "You ready?" Anna looked up. "No." Keanu nodded. "Good." She blinked. "What do you mean?" "It means you care," he said. "People who fake readiness don't grow. People who admit fear, they find courage." Anna breathed out, a small, grateful smile. He always said the right thing without making it feel rehearsed. The next day, the studio held a press panel. It was full of noise-bright lights, microphones. Eager questions. Anna wore a soft blue dress. No jewelry, no hard edges, just herself. The moderator smiled wide. "Anna, your performance in the series is being called your best yet. How did you tap into that depth?" Anna hesitated. She looked at Keanu. He gave the smallest nod, and then she told the truth. "I stopped trying to be perfect," she said. "I let myself fall apart a little. I let the hurt come through, and someone reminded me that being seen in the dark is sometimes braver than pretending to shine." There was silence for a moment, then quiet applause. But the moment wasn't for them. It was for her. Afterward, while walking to the car, a young assistant, barely 20, stopped her. "I just wanted to say that line you said up there meant something to me." Anna paused. "Thank you," she said. Double quotes. "No," the girl replied. "Thank you. I've been hiding behind fake smiles too, but I don't have to anymore." And just like that, Anna's chest filled with something different. Not pressure, but purpose. That night, Keanu and Anna sat on the hotel rooftop, their legs hanging over the edge. They watched as tiny lights blinked from windows far below. "Do you remember," Anna said softly, "that first night when I didn't open the door?" "Yes." "I almost left," she whispered. "I almost quit." "I know." She turned to him. "But you waited." He smiled. I would have waited all night. Anna leaned her head against his shoulder. Thank you for not needing me to be okay right away. Keanu tilted his head against hers. Thank you for not pretending to be. On premiere night, the carpet was lined with flashes and screams. Reporters leaned in with their questions. Anna, what makes this role different from your past work? She smiled gently. This time I showed them who I really was. A few feet away, Keanu gave a rare full smile. The episode screening started. Her scene came on the emotional one. The one people doubted. The one that went viral for the wrong reasons. But now, no one laughed. They watched, silent, breath held, when it ended. Applause broke the quiet. Real applause. No one cared if her makeup was messy. If her voice had cracked, they cared that it felt real because it was. After the premiere, someone from the studio told her she had offers waiting. Big ones, dramatic roles, scripts she hadn't even seen yet. She nodded politely, but her mind wasn't. On the scripts, it was on the girl she used to be, the one gripping the couch inside a locked trailer, thinking she didn't belong, and the man sitting quietly outside the door, making sure she knew she did. That night, back in her room, she opened her notebook for the last time. She wrote, "They saw the performance. He saw the person." Out the page, folded it, and walked to Kiana's door. She didn't knock, just slipped the note underneath inside. Keanu picked it up, read it once, and smiled the kind of smile that didn't show teeth, just heart. The silence that stayed a week had passed since the premiere. Anna stood on the balcony of her apartment, barefoot, holding a mug of tea she hadn't sipped yet. The city buzzed below, but her world was quiet, peaceful, for the first time in months. She wasn't rehearsing, performing, or preparing to prove herself. No press. No panels, no forced smiles, just air, just breath, just stillness. And somewhere deep inside her, something had healed. Not because the world clapped, but because someone had waited through the silence. Keanu hadn't said much after the premiere. They shared a hug, a quiet drive, a soft "you did great." Then he had flown out to start another project, but his absence didn't feel like a loss. It felt like a presence. It didn't need to speak to be remembered. He had left something behind, not in words, but in how she walked now, how she breathed, how she didn't shrink when the world got loud again. A letter arrived 2 days later. Not an email, not a text, a real letter, handwritten. The envelope was simple. No return address. Just her name, written in small, neat handwriting. Inside was a single page. Anna, I don't know if the world will ever stop expecting you to be perfect, but I hope you never let that expectation steal your softness. I've seen what most people miss. Saw it behind the door. I saw it in your silence. You didn't need to be fixed. You just needed someone who wouldn't walk away. You're not just brave, you're honest. That's rarer than any award. Keep being honest, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. I'll be watching from the quiet seats. Always. Her fingers trembled by the time she reached the last line. Not from sadness, but from something sacred. A kindness so real. It didn't need to be seen to be felt. Months passed. The series became a hit. Anna was nominated for awards. She gave speeches, smiled in gowns, stood under lights. But through it all she stayed herself. When people asked what changed her as an actor, she told them about the scene behind the trailer door. But she never named him. She didn't need to. The truth was in the silence. One day, on the set of a new film, a young actress stood nervously by the trailer steps, shaking hands. Hello, breath. Anna saw it from across the lot. She didn't hesitate. She walked over, sat beside her. Didn't speak right away, just waited until the girl whispered, "I don't think I can do this." Anna gave the gentlest smile. "You don't have to be okay, right?" "Now," she said, "you just have to breathe." The girl blinked back tears. Anna stayed there, just like someone once had for her. That night, Anna sat alone with her notebook. She flipped through the pages. Smudged ink, tear marks, notes written during breakdowns and breakthroughs, And on the very last page, she wrote, "Because he stayed." I learned how to stay for someone else. She closed it slowly, then reached for her phone. No cameras. Just a message. To Keanu from Ana. Message: "You were the beginning of everything I now understand. Thank you. For waiting. For not knocking. For not needing to be loud to be heard. I carry your silence with me always." She hit send and smiled somewhere far away. Keanu was finishing a late-night shoot. His phone buzzed. He read the message. No reply, just a breath. Then he looked up at the night sky and whispered, "She got it."